моє місто лине.
This is Kiev, the capital of the Ukraine. Kiev is one of the most beautiful and oldest cities in Europe. The city of love, joy, and happiness. The city that never sleeps. But when nothing seemed to go wrong, this happened. Ukraine's cabinet of ministers decides to hold the process of preparations for signing an agreement regarding association between Ukraine and the European Union, for which the country had been preparing for several years. This brings outraged people out onto Independence Square. The night before, leaders of the opposition parties call upon citizens to come out to the rally as a sign of protest against the government's decision to reject association with the European Union. At the rally, there is discussion of the need for pre-term elections for president and the Verkhovna Rada, and also about changing the system of government. According to the words of witnesses, around 4 o'clock in the morning, more than 2,000 members of the police and Berkut surround the protesters on Maidan, press them back to the Independence Monument, and indiscriminately beat everyone, students and women, with nightsticks. They kick those who fall, drag them along the ground, overtake those who break free, and continue beating them. In all, more than 300 people were injured. Peaceful protests continue to take place and occupy Maidan Nezalezhnosti in Kiev, with tens of thousands attending, while thousands block the main cabinet buildings. Cities Lviv, Chernobyl, and Ivano-Frankivsk announced a general strike in solidarity with the movement. A third mass protest in Kiev took place. The opposition called it March of a Million, with more than 200,000 people coming to protest. Opposition leaders call for people to block off the government quarter and promising to blockade the president's residence, Medjugorje. After the rally, a group of Ukrainian protesters destroyed the statue of Lenin in Kiev. Weeks later, unidentified protesters pulled down monuments to Lenin in many Ukrainian cities and villages. This is Anna. She told me about all her experiences at the Maidan. Did you go to Maidan?
Yes, I did. I did go to Maidan. I cannot say that I was present there all the time, like during the whole period that it's lasted, but I would go like several times per week because my office, at that time I worked for International Alliance for Public Health, and our office was just one metro station away from Maidan. So when I had a chance, or during lunchtime or something, we would, me and my colleagues would go to Maidan to just support our people. Just bring, I don't know, money or whatever, maybe sometimes we brought food, sometimes there was a Facebook page with a group where they kind of publish the needs, like whatever they needed, so we would read through that list and buy whatever we could buy. We would just go and bring that stuff to our people, to the participants who actually lived on Maidan, and it was like minus from 20 to 30 degrees centigrade because it took place in the main events took place in February and it was freezing. Other than that, I hosted one participant who worked for the fellow organization. She was from the regions, and she and her son would come to Kiev, and they wanted to participate and they did not have a place to stay, so I would just hold them for several nights, and like that. And when the shooting started and there were a lot of people who were injured, and the hospitals and other medical institutions were kind of overpopulated, so they even put the injured people into churches and other public places. So we would go to the church and bring food and milk and medical stuff, medical healthcare products to the injured people.
What did you feel during Maidan?
Well, during Maidan, I had like mixed feelings. In the beginning, I was kind of frustrated, and because it was not about politics at all. First, it was just about a bunch of students who were kind of thrown away from Maidan. So I was just, angry. But once it proceeded, I felt more and more proud of my people. I felt more and more confident that actually people win over government and like that. I actually felt freedom and how united we actually were.
And all in all, what was Maidan for you?
Maidan for me was a manifestation of freedom and democracy and independence of our country. I finally found out, basically found out that I am Ukrainian.
Thank you very much. On February 18th till February 20th, there was a major escalation of the violence. In the center of European capital, over 100 police and demonstrators were shot to death, and hundreds more were injured. It is unclear either Yanukovych, Berkut, or somebody else did organize it, but all snipers shot from Hotel Ukraina. During the Revolution of Dignity on the first stage, when active protest or revolution started, it was a very hard period because people were taken away from the hospital direct to the police department. And in this stage, we decided to open a hospital based on our office presences and on our conference hall in order to assist activists and also treat them. It was February and it was quite cold. That's why we've decided to open like a treatment point. We had 2 rooms. In the first one, our doctors would assist injured people and operate them. In the other room, those people could stay and eat something. We would support them for a couple of days and then they got back home or to the Maidan. I felt like it was a really big input from my colleagues and me into the revolution because we fully understood that we couldn't do anything, we couldn't actively participate, and that's why we did all we could. We weren't afraid, although we also could be taken to the police department. Personally, I attended Maidan every single day before the shooting started. And when my husband continued to actively participate, I just couldn't sit and do nothing. I did it for my children and for the future of my country, because I fully recognized that I would stay in this country and I would change something. I just wanted to live in independent and prospective Ukraine. All the victims of Maidan are described as the Heavenly 100. In honor of all people who were killed during Maidan, Kiev City Council renamed a part of Institutska Street into Heavenly 100 Heroes Avenue on 20th November 2014.